everybody, and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle, and this is my latest episode of New Music Weekly. This is August 12th, 2022 that I'm filming this, and this is the show where I give you guys the biggest prog news headlines for the week, introduce you guys to some new prog singles, and tell you what's going on with the channel. I decided to change the name just slightly. It used to be New Music Friday, and then I did a bunch of shows on Saturday, calling it New Music Saturday, and I decided because of my work schedule, sometimes I can do it on Friday, sometimes Saturday, just depends. I thought it would be better to just call it New Music Weekly, and therefore I can just come out with a weekly show and it just comes out on the day that works best for my schedule. So it may come out on Fridays, it may come out on Saturdays, or other days depending on my schedule for the week. So that frees me up a little bit because sometimes I get called into work when I don't expect to, and it kind of throws off my schedule. So just wanted to announce that at the front of the show. That was an idea from one of my great subscribers, so I thank you for that idea. I think it's a great one. So New Music Weekly is what we're going to be calling it from now on. And before I get into the news items, please subscribe if you're interested in a weekly news show featuring prog headlines. It's a lot of fun. I really appreciate the support. I'd really appreciate any and all of you joining in and being a subscriber to the channel, and I appreciate all of the support and all of the views and the likes on my videos. It really helps me and motivates me to keep going, and I'm really excited to be back. I was gone last week because it was my birthday, so I decided to take the week off for the show, but I'm back now and hopefully getting back into my routine of doing it each week. So there's some news items here that are a little bit of playing catch up from last week, so really this news covers the last couple weeks. So first item that I wanted to discuss is Big Train share a trailer for upcoming release Summer Shall Not Fade live at Loreley. This is their big upcoming Blu-ray double CD set that's coming out that chronicles the band's legendary performance at the Night of the Prog Festival on July 13th, 2018 at Loreley in Germany. So this is going to be a really great set. I believe I already announced the set on the channel before that this was coming out, but now we have a cool trailer to accompany the release, and it's a really cool snapshot of what you can expect on the Blu-ray package. So it's really fun. I'm definitely going to put the trailer in the description along with this news item. So go check it out. The concert features David Lungden, who of course sadly passed away at the end of last year. This is one of the last probably one of the last mementos of his time with the band, so it's a really special one, and one that I'm sure all fans will want to pick up. And coming along with it is David Lungden's posthumous solo album as well, coming out later this year. So a couple of really cool, notable Big Train things to look forward to, really building up the excitement, especially once you see this trailer, which is a really fantastic one and showcases the band really at peak form and really performing at the top of their potential. So Gregory Spontan even said of the show, Loreley was a real coming-of-age experience for Big Train as a live band. The stars aligned perfectly for us. It was truly a magical night with the band performing brilliantly and a wonderfully welcoming audience as they and we enjoyed the glorious outdoor setting. So really a cool experience. Definitely will be cool to relive that for people who were there and to live it for the first time for those of us who weren't able to attend or who haven't been able to see Big Train live. So the audio is being mixed in both 5.1 and stereo by Big Train's resident sound engineer Rob Aubrey, and the set comes out on October 14th, 2022, so it's definitely out there and available for pre-order. Item number 2, the Mars Volta reveal new self-titled album and a third single called Vigil. They've been releasing these singles, and it's been somewhat known that they were going to be coming out with an album, but now we get more of the details about the release date, the artwork, and all of those sorts of things, and ability to pre-order. So that's pretty exciting news. The release is scheduled for September 16th, 2022, and the new single, which will be one of my top 5 singles, Vigil, is a really cool one, really interesting, almost more of a poppy sound to some of these tracks. I think it's interesting that they're embracing more maybe world music vibes, more interesting beats and rhythms, and not really so far seemingly going for the really eclectic, wild progressive rock that they were known for. So it could be an interesting project, doing something a lot different than some of their classic albums, so to speak, but really should be fun. It says in the press release here that the album, which is a self-titled album, as I mentioned, Mars Volta, pulses with subtle brilliance, Caribbean rhythms underpinning sophisticated turbulent songcraft. This is guitarist composer Omar Rodriguez Lopez and singer-lyricist Cedric Bixler Zavala at their most mature, most concise, most focused. Their sound and fury channeled to greatest effect. So to me that means more of a streamlined sound, more focused on these like Caribbean rhythms and sophisticated, building these shorter tracks that are more built in a more compact fashion than some of their more extended, longer pieces. So definitely interesting, definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of the group or fan of interesting music in general. This is available, of course, for digital and physical pre-order, and the digital album will be available in Dolby Atmos and spatial audio and physically on CD and vinyl. There's of course, all kinds of exclusives and cool things going on there. A special foiled outer sleeve with embossed art available on the LP. Really cool stuff in the packaging. And so that's definitely one to check out if you're a fan. And they're also going to be playing some live shows later in September, moving into October in North America. So there's going to be some cool stuff. A lot of the shows look like they're sold out already. So it's a really exciting return for a big band. Similar along the lines of what Porcupine Tree have done recently. Just a big return of one of these seminal modern prog bands that have been coming around. Item number 3, John Petrucci reveals North American dates for first headlining solo tour with Dave LaRue and Mike Portnoy. I announced this before as well, but when I announced it originally, there weren't many dates. There was only a couple dates announced, but now we have a full calendar of solo dates being scheduled throughout October and November, all throughout North America. So it's really going to be a cool event, I'm sure. Seeing John Petrucci and Mike Portnoy play together live is definitely going to be something notable to check out. So I definitely wanted to bring more attention to it. Those dates are all available to go out and buy your tickets and do that sort of thing. So it could be a really fun experience to go out and go see. Definitely some virtuosos here on their respective instruments. Also joining them are special guest openers Mean Streak, comprised of guitarist Marlene Portnoy and Rena Sands, vocalist Bettina France, bassist Martins Myung, and drummer Yal. So a cool opening group as well. Should be a fun event, fun time, great playing, and just a cool experience to see this small Dream Theater-esque reunion of these two monumental figures in the progressive metal landscape. So that should be really cool to check out. Item number 4, I wanted to mention Kings of Mercia announced their debut album and first single, Wrecking Ball. Kings of Mercia is a super group of sorts, or a different amalgamation of different notable musicians. Acclaimed rock metal guitarist Jim Matheos from Fates Warning, joining with powerhouse rock vocalist Steve Overland from FM to create this new group, being accompanied by Fates Warning bandmate Joey Vera on bass and legendary drummer Simon Phillips. The album will be coming out September 23rd, 2022 via Metal Blade Records, and you could get your first taste of the project with their single Wrecking Ball. Really cool. Jim Matheos said this was the first song he wrote for what would become Kings of Mercia. It's also the opening track on the album. I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to do musically, but this one came together very quickly and naturally without too much forethought. The combination of simple but heavy riffs along with Steve's powerful vocals sets the tone and mood for the rest of the record. So really cool, just good hard rock, solid stuff coming out. Another release that came out actually today, I believe, is A to Z, which also features some Fates Warning connections with Mark Zonder and Ray Alder on vocals. So really cool that the family, they're branching out a bit and doing these different projects. A to Z is more of a hard rock, AOR, arena rock style record, which is really polished, really well made. Some really cool, catchy songs on there that's definitely worth checking out. Not a high quotient of prog music, I would say, but really cool stuff nonetheless, taking you back to late 70s, early 80s, hard rock and arena rock. It's really cool stuff, so wanted to give a shout out to that as well. So this is a cool album, like I said, coming out September 23rd. Definitely can go out and pre-order this also when it becomes available. I'm not sure if oh yeah, it's up for pre-order as well on CD, LP, and digital formats. So definitely a cool one to check out, and should be a fun project to follow and see what they do. And item number 5, I wanted to mention O.R.k. announces new album Screamnasiam. This is a band featuring ex-Porcupine Tree bassist Colin Edwin, along with Pat Mastelotto, who's played with King Crimson, and Marta Su-Tabi's Carmelo Pepitone, due for release on October 21st, 2022 on K-Scope. So this should be cool to check out. Once again, there's a track you can check out that gives an idea of what the sound's like. The track is called As I Leave. So this is, I believe, their 4th album, their acclaimed follow-up to their 2019 Ramage Head. This should be really interesting. Really good energy, really good gutsy, cathartic, and striking music that should be fun to check out and should be something to look forward to. So another pre-order campaign there that you can check out. Interesting new release that will be coming in October on the 21st. So mark your calendar for all these different items. There's a lot of interesting stuff coming out in modern prog and adjacent. And a quick hit, I saw this fleetingly as I was looking at stuff online. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, of course, notable legendary musicians of the band Rush, played Closer to the Heart with Primus for this South Park celebration at the Red Rocks Amphitheater. There was a YouTube video. It might have been taken down, but maybe it's available somewhere else. You can search that out. Maybe that's something you can find, but really cool to see those guys play some Rush music with Primus, so I thought I'd mention that as a quick item. And I saw some interesting stuff. I don't know too much information about it, but I believe that it's called the HRH Prog Festival, was rescheduled for 2023. It was supposed to take place later this year. I believe it was featuring a lot of notable bands that I talk about a lot, notably Big Big Train, I believe, was going to play there, but they unfortunately had to reschedule, which has made a lot of people a little bit upset because people have made plans that they can't really get refunds for, travel expenses and such. So, and maybe they can't make the new rescheduled date, and it's a tough thing to have happen when you've been planning on something and you have these non-refundable things that you've planned. So I know there's a bit of people a little bit upset over that and that being rescheduled, but we'll see how that goes. Maybe the new rescheduled event will be a good one. A lot of good bands playing there, so should be interesting. Just wanted to mention that because I've seen it in the Big Big Train Facebook group and other places that there's been a little bit of people not so happy with how this went down. So so we have the list of singles, the 5 singles. Kings of Mercia, like I mentioned, with Wrecking Ball. 6x6, cool trio with Ian Crichton, Nigel Glockler, and Robert Barry. They're coming out with an album soon. They released their single China, so that's on the list. Mars Volta, as I mentioned, their single Vigil. Steve Hackett has a really cool clip, a live performance selection from his upcoming live release that's coming out, Seconds Out and More. It's the Devil's Cathedral, which is one of his originals from one of his latest records, so that should be definitely cool to check out as well. And as I mentioned, O.R.k. and their new single As I Leave also is on that list, so check out those songs if you're interested to hear what those sound like. And as for me on my channel, this week I took a little bit of a break, so it's been a little bit quiet on the Nathan on Shuffle front, but I did do, of course, my usual Prog Song Sunday with Jana this last week. We did I'm trying to remember. Let's see, we did Supertramp. We did Supertramp Fool's Overture, which was a really cool track to dive into. We have another cool classic prog track to dive into this week on this Sunday's episode. So that series is going along really well. I'm going to do a big vinyl haul video with all the vinyl I've received over the past several months, which should be a lot of fun. I thought it'd be a fun, more laid-back style video to film to get me back into the habit here. And then I'm hoping pretty soon to do somewhat of a roundup of new releases that have come out in July and August that I've been enjoying. Haven't done a lot of new reviews lately, which is one of my favorite things to do on the channel. I did a review of Rio's new album, Myth of the Mistrophus, but besides that, there hasn't been a lot of new album reviews. I've been checking things out here and there, and should have a pretty good lineup of releases on my next New Music Shuffle show, which will probably be out in a couple weeks, so should be a fun one to check out. And besides that, just having a lot of fun here, listening to some great new music. There's some fun releases about to come out, and I hope to keep delivering the news to you guys. So thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for all your support once again. As always, I'm really grateful for all of you and what you do for the channel here, and hope you just have a great time out there enjoying the music. Bye everybody. See you next time.